What it do, what it do, what it do, what's going on? I got some stuff on my mind, some stuff to get off my chest, and I really want to talk about it. I mean, I know I normally don't have nobody here, but that's okay. That's besides the point. I know the stuff that I've been dealing with, really, it's just a whole bunch of me. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of me, a whole lot of me. Hold up. Being honest, me being the problem is because I guess you could say of the upbringing that I had. Had a guy come in here and ask me, why you so like not hype? You know what I mean? Like not upbeat. That was a great question. I really want to talk about that. When I started streaming on Twitch in 2020-ish, like around 2019 to early 2020, I just wanted to do it because I could. You know what I'm saying? Because I had an Elgato. I was going through some things and I wasn't working at the second. And I got up there and I started streaming. But then you realize it real quick, man. People, when you start making a name for yourself, people will come in and kind of like, I'm not gonna say clout chase, but you don't have a lot of people that's gonna be on your side, that's gonna talk to you, that's gonna come in there and they're gonna be like, hey man, listen, bro, this is what I want to tell you. They kind of just sit back and watch. That's what they do. So I guess you could say I didn't grow as much as I should have grown. And it's okay. I'm cool with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. My problem that I always bump into is the things that you want to do to improve yourself. It takes you to do it. But if you got issues with certain things, I mean, technically you got to kind of push through it by yourself. That's what I struggle with the most. I don't have that many friends. Honestly, right now until the time get right, I don't really want any friends. Because if I mean, you got to think about it, man. People got lives, right? So if people got lives out there in the world, why would they, waste time or spend time talking with you? It don't make a difference what you're doing. Sometimes we got to get self-help. We got to figure out certain things by ourselves. And there ain't a lot of people there to really help you along the way. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of make moves on your own. So like I said, in 2019, the end of it, early 2020, when I first started doing the streaming thing, I mean, I really was in it by myself. I got traction. I was playing Blackout at the time. Blackout was jumping on Black Ops 4. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty. But like I said, I hit that brick wall of friendships and people, and everybody want to start streaming. When you start streaming, they want your help. They take off. They go do it on their own. They kind of leave you like by yourself. You started as friends with them, and then they go on their own and start their own little community of people. Some people social. Some people can talk about certain things with certain people and click with certain people you can't click with. But I mean, after all that being said, what goal is it for you to try to maintain your friendship with people that don't care about you? You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. It's cool. Nothing I'm saying now is like kind of sending shots at anybody. I'm just kind of talking, just to be talking because I can. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I love talking. I love like demonstrating my knowledge, kind of testing the waters, looking at it from my point of view, trying to find out where the problems occur at. The problems start with me, the person in the mirror, the person on this camera, and I'm not scared of that. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about the stuff that I find hard, right? Smiling, having a good time. The only time I have a good time, really, I'm going to be honest about that, is when I'm in control. You don't want control of everything. That's why my name is Serious. I take everything very serious. I don't like playing around joking. That's a bad energy. But it all starts from childhood. You know what I mean? Unpacking childhood trauma, it's very difficult. You can't maintain a level of focus on your day-to-day grown life if you still living like a child. You see what I'm saying? Or you dealing with the stuff that you couldn't express as a child. like I said, man, this is just a rant. I don't have no time limit on this. We chilling. I kind of want to get everything off my chest. I want to talk about everything. I just chill and vibe. You know what I'm saying? I ain't scared of no conversation whatsoever. I do want to say right off the bat, if somebody do come in here after the fact, they hear this, because I'm definitely gonna post this and let people watch this if they want to, so they can get to know me a little better. I just do this, man. I this is me ranting, talking, getting it off my chest. Like I said, everything, the whole shebang. You know, if it don't have no rhyme or no rhythm to it, it's just me going off the top of my head, coming up with the thoughts that I struggle with or the things that I think about that I can't talk about. You know what I'm saying? And when nobody's here to listen to you, that's the best time in the world. You know what I'm saying? For real. I don't know if I thrive off of the stuff that I like thinking about. Like, you spend a lot of time in your head. They call me a overthinker. I overthink everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything. All right? Down to the micro orb of something small, minute, a very small problem. I think a lot. I don't feel like that's a curse. I feel like that's a blessing. You're always outside of the box. You see what I'm saying? Outside of the box created a whole bunch of opportunities for me. What I choose to do or chose to do after my little starting of my stream, because it was a lot before the stream and everything, and the time and the struggling times of my life. But like I said, when you dealing with a lot of childhood trauma, you get to a certain point and you got to look at it through the scope of, okay, where I go from here. I decided to go drive trucks. You know what I mean? I decided to do that. That's what I wanted to do. Drive 18 wheelers. Is that what I wanted to do as far as a job goes? I want to explain that. You have nobody over your shoulder telling you what to do. You clock in, you got to put on a fake energy for the people around you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people like, hey, how you doing? Good morning to you. You know what I mean? And you don't want to say nothing. You should just be able to walk away, but you can't. You know what I mean? People got opinions. People like critiquing, criticizing, judging you for everything that you do. That's one of the reasons why I went into trucking. Second, man, I mean, when I first thought about doing this trucking thing, I found out I was good at it. I mean, who wakes up in the morning to say, I want to be a truck driver? Not unless you got truckers in your family. It's nobody in my family that drove trucks for a lengthy amount of time. I had somebody that started driving trucks, but I don't have no family member that's going to be like, hey, man, this is what you need to do. You need to do this. You need to do that. It was just me. You know what I'm saying? I found out I was good at it. And I like doing it. You know what I mean? It was, if my schoolmates can tell you, and the instructors at the school that I went to can tell you, they'll say, man, this one of the best dudes that ever crossed paths at this college. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool with me. You know, that's just an accolade of something that I can wear based off of what people said, right? So I went in and I did everything that I needed to do to get out of the box of, you know, this stream and this little rut that I was in, you know? So when I went in there and I started doing that, now mind you, when I went into trucking, you don't know anything about me now, but I'm telling you, I was quiet. I didn't really say much. I didn't stand my ground about anything. All I wanted to do was just do whatever it is I felt like I need to do. If anybody resists, guess what I done? I took off and I ran the other direction. You know what I mean? I just didn't want to stand up to my problems. But the opportunity that trucking gave to me, when it gave me an opportunity, the first thing I did was I stood up to the things that I needed to take care of, all the problems, everything that was horrible for me to do. You know, you don't want to say nothing to the guy or the girl that is, you know what I'm saying, like coming at you. You know what I'm saying? But that's the first thing I learned how to do when I started to drive trucks after school. It was fun, man. I really did enjoy myself. Not the fussing at people and arguing with people and stuff like that, man. I really did take in the responsibility to stand the ground, pay attention to the things that I wanted to do. Like I needed to do. I knew I needed to change. And trucking was definitely one of those energies that you can't just walk in and be like, I'm going to do this. You got to like prepare yourself for it. Another thing that I didn't do, you know what I'm saying? Like as we getting to know me, what I didn't do was come into trucking, right, where the thought process of this is how long I'm gonna do it and this is where I'm gonna go. I had a reason. I wanted to get experience with driving trucks, all right? But I wasn't a stand-up type of guy, like stand my ground. I always took stuff very personal, everything. I don't care if it was like hey, how you doing today from a certain person I really don't like. I'm sitting there breaking it all down. So I came into driving trucks really like a young boy, young mind type of guy. But what I learned over the time of being in the truck alone, what I learned about being in the truck alone was the ability to try to make yourself happy. So when I left and I went out there on the road driving trucks, I guess you could say at home I felt like I wasn't appreciated as much as I needed to be. I wanted to get the stuff that I knew I needed, but how can somebody appreciate somebody that don't do anything to get appreciation for? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I left. I wanted to go be an OTR driver, took off, hit the ground running, took off, did what I was supposed to do as far as becoming a truck driver. You know what I'm saying? And when I did it, I was good at it. Like I said, I left school. I was a great student at school. I made an average of 98, 97. School, test out, took off. Went to drive a trucks at a company. When I got to the company, got on the, went through orientation, do all the crazy stuff you do when you start driving trucks and stuff. Got on the truck with a leader. When I got on the truck with the leader, he was astounded at all the knowledge that I had, the skills that I had. So much so that the man pushed me forward inside of the company that I was working at. They made me a placement driver of the month. Perfect. That was crazy. I thought it was something stupid until they gave me $500 on my check, and then they gave me a t-shirt and a certificate, like a whole plaque. Placement driver of the month. So it's dope. I'm starting off from new. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget. Let's go back. Let's go back for a second. The struggles of just 2019, 2020 beginning, all that. Don't forget the struggle that I went through, as we talked about before. So anyway, at this point in my life, I'm feeling like I accomplished a little bit of something. You know what I'm saying? Like I started into trucking. They gave me all these placards. I'm still developing as a person. Now, don't forget now, like while we sitting here, we talking about it, don't forget I had no person to really deal with. Now, let me pause for a second, get this off my chest too. I did have to deal with the person that was training me on the truck, my leader, my personal leader. See, when you go into the company that I work for, driving trucks, you got to get on the truck with a leader for it was 3 weeks. Yeah, 21 days, right? So you're on the truck with this person, you sleep in the truck with them, you go drive, you do all your job, you learn how to do the job as a truck driver from school, driving trucks for a company. So you got to get on the truck with a leader. Me and this guy butted heads. So much so it wasn't even funny. It make your skin crawl, and the I'm gonna just say the oppression of his personality. Me and him clashing like two trains doing 200 miles an hour on the same track. Boom, clashing with each other only because we got real strong personalities. I had to stand my ground. I don't want to really. I might need to go into detail. So here we go. I'm gonna go from the story from the beginning. Okay. So when I got on the truck with my leader, I realized that this guy was a real, he was a stand-up type of guy. He was a very strong character, kind of, push. I'm going to get my agenda across, my point across. But when he ran into a person like me, the crazy part is he got in the truck with a guy that knew how to do a blind side back in between trucks at a truck stop. With without him telling me what to do. He wasn't real used to that. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't clash because of that, but you got a person that's in a truck that's real good at what they're doing. You can't really help them as much as you used to, or whoever was before me. You know what I'm saying? So the knowledge agenda of him, trying to talk to me about things of outside the truck. You see what I'm saying? It made us clash a lot because we didn't have nothing really in common. Because like he said, I'm gonna skip real quick. Like he was saying, on my bad days, I was better than him on his great days with driving and back in the truck. You see what I'm saying? Like all of the stuff. I knew how to trip plan. Look at my load. Look how many hours it's gonna take. Look at how many hours I got to drive. Look at where I need to go at. All of these things, I had like an agenda placed in front of me where I already knew what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do things. I took him outside his comfort zone a lot. And I mean, real quick, not to talk about me so much about this situation, because the agenda was to be able to speak on the truth, like me telling the truth about what happened and everything that goes on when it come down to me opening up. Because before this trucking thing, me and this guy, when we first met, I didn't really want to say nothing until something unfolded in front of my face, and I felt threatened. I felt challenged. Like the guy, I was sitting in there. I'm like I said, I was good at trip planning and everything like that. And I wanted to make the move. I told him what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, where we wanted to sleep at, everything like that. And when I done that, we was on our way. We done been 4 or 5 hours into the drive or whatnot. We headed to this rest area over here in the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, and we chilling. We big chilling. Actually, I'm just driving, minding my own business. He on the phone talking to somebody, and he explained to me and to them. I'm sorry, not to me, but I'm ear hustling because I'm in the truck. We ain't got no music going, and he was talking about like, no, I didn't want to go there. Yes, okay. Asheville. Like he's talking, and I'm just assuming the person he's talking to on the phone, he's talking about me. So I broke it down to him, and I asked him, clear as cut, just as clear as day. Hey man, are you on the phone talking about me like you got a problem with where I'm going at and everything like that? And the guy that he was on the phone with, he kind of like brushed it off a little bit and was like, hey man, listen, okay, no, I ain't talking about you, but I am kind of saying about what we going through, what we dealing with. But yeah, I'm like, no, cut that short. That was my first time ever really standing my ground because I didn't like it. You know what I mean? I felt like we was behind on time. We was in the mountains. I'm new to trucking. I don't want to be in the mountains, but it was on the course, but it was a way that he wouldn't, out of his comfort zone, but still having to so that happened. It was real hard for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to be honest and transparent right now. Tell you the truth. Look you in your eyes, man. That day when that happened, it took so much out of me, man. I think I not think I did. I got out the truck, called my wife, and I broke down about that whole situation because I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm not at home. I'm sitting back and I'm chilling. I'm trying to make moves and do something good with my life. You know what I mean? And I got a roadblock in front of me, and it's a person. You see what I'm saying? So then I felt like, I'm done with this. Like first couple of, I think it was like a week of being on the truck. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I can't do this. I can't be out here on the street. But let me go ahead and move from this situation. It got worse than that. Not worse like in a sense where I end up quitting and it didn't work between this guy. The fight that I had to put up to go through this guy, build enough structure for me to unlock that inner child, like kind of give myself the mental freedom that I needed. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking for mental freedom, but you can't get past your own self, you're not gonna go anywhere. I discovered starting into trucking that standing your ground means more than just fussing somebody out. I mean, you tell them what the problem is, you explain what it's doing to you, and you tell them not to ever do it again. That's the moral of my story about everything that I learned with this guy. Like I said, I got off the truck with this guy. I got into my own 18-wheeler, right? This man praised me so much about what I was doing when I was in the truck that they glorified me inside the company that I work with. They gave me a plaque of $500 and a t-shirt. You see what I'm saying? And then I went on about my life. 6 months later, after I got off the truck with him, I got used to my job, driving trucks and everything, fussing with fleet managers and all of the getting to learn the ropes of trucking. I became a trainer, just like the guy that I dealt with. You know what I mean? Because I really wanted to give somebody, the people that watch my YouTube video, Mr. Serious at YouTube, they watch my videos, they comment to me. I got like a lot of views up there from people just thinking about coming into trucking and everything like that. And I wanted to give back to them, give back to the people that was just like me. Because when I came into driving trucks, of course, I went straight to the internet and I started typing in, trucking company orientation, blah, 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 so on and so forth. We all do it. I went in there, I done all of that. But anyway, like I was saying, I got up there, I didn't find anything remotely close to what I was looking for. So when I got into trucking, the first thing I done was like, no matter what the situation was, I'm making videos. Like it didn't have no backbone to it, right? Let's put a staple in that, backbone. My agenda for my talk tonight is like backbone, having some type of goal. All right, let me pause. So I went in there and I done that, right? So right before I became a leader, I've been placing videos on YouTube, right? Then I became a leader, but I was already promoting myself through YouTube, getting videos out there, pumping them out there, just got them out there. It's nothing easy, too easy, actually. Became a leader. That was more hype. I had more knowledge. The more knowledge I retained, the more knowledge I dispersed at the same time. I'm putting it out, putting out content, right? I get all that out there. I become a leader. I do my thing with as a leader, but then I ran into a brick wall. My brick wall that I ran into the whole time that I've been being myself and learning and growing as a person is that you got to have an agenda. You know what I'm saying? Like a real agenda. Not no temporary fix based off of what other people think about you, or an agenda somebody else places on you and say you could be the best at that. If you stay the same, nothing else happens in your life. You have to change. You got to grow outside of the person that you are today. You got to become a better version of yourself, and you can't do that being happy and being content. So the brick wall that I faced, and also still facing at this moment, because your boy ain't got it figured out at all, like not one little bit, you know. It's real difficult, and the reason why I don't have it figured out is because I don't have the because. But I went into trucking. I wanted to drive truck. I wanted to get to the experience level that I needed to get. I didn't really care about money. You keep your bills low. Let me slow down. Getting experience in trucking is one of the most important things you could do while being safe. That's a very, very crucial thing. You got to be safe, and you got to get the experience that you need, right? But when you get the experience, then comes the money, because the money isn't important. I want to talk about this real quick. I want to pause for a second, get my mind made about talking about how not important money is. But I want to get back to this, like this brick wall. That, like I said, it's a pivot in this conversation. The place of the not knowing the future. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, money isn't important because it only pays for temporary things. Only temporary things. Things that does not last forever. You know what I'm saying? So when you really think about why you do the things you do, you got to remember that it has no value. You got to retain knowledge from everything that you're going through and be able to give it away freely. The money you gain comes from the person you are. When you turn a hobby into a job, it becomes an uncomfortable atmosphere, right? Now something so simple as just being yourself and loving what you do becomes the reason why you the breadwinner or making money for your family or whatever it is that you have around you. Now it's becoming issues. Money to me is like it's a whole bunch of nothingness. It's a great area to talk about because some people might argue with me and say, hey man, listen, money is a pivot. Money is something that allows you to get food and pay bills and etc. etc. That is very true. I'm going to tell you the real problem that I find about money. Money goes to the same place you got it from. It has no value. None. It go right back to where you get it from. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the honest truth about me, money, and the big circle that I've been in my whole entire life. And everything that I'm talking about now kind of getting off my chest. Everything that I'm talking about now kind of getting off my chest pulls me towards the truth about the struggle. Not only that I'm in, that I keep coming right back to. And that's the ability to get past the normal. You know what I'm saying? Like the normal. When I say the normal, I mean like the pivot that I was telling you about, the brick wall that I'm facing against is the matter of people influencing you, helping you to get where you need to be, but at the same time not using them as a crutch to get where you want to be, if that makes sense, right? If we are all influencers and somebody can learn from our testimony or something that we've been through, right? How can you not be a people pleaser? And that's the struggle. And then when you turn it into money, like your people pleasing or your ability to be the ability to be an influencer turns into your hobby, your craft, and people, right? So now you at this whole barricade, this block, this I, I guess you could say like a cul-de-sac. You know, you go in there, it's a lot of stuff going on around you and everything. You feel good being there, but then when you look in, it's like a whole bunch of emptiness. You know what I'm saying? That's influenced by people. People that's the same caliber of you. Same clothes that you know, put on the clothes the same way, breathe the same air, you know, get sick like you do. You know what I mean? All of this stuff, man, and then you looking at a brick wall. That's I can say that's where I am now. But still, I got to a point in my mind where I found out what's the most important thing to me. And before trucking, I was doing whatever came my way just to get by. When I got into trucking, the person I was before trucking turned into a person of trying to understand why to certain things that I didn't get as a childhood. Like in my childhood, the answers that I need. I mean, technically, your parents, everybody struggles, but when you looking for certain critical answers to questions that don't have answers, then you get older and you realize why. And that's the best way to put it. And that's being honest. That's where I am. And I don't mind being here though. I don't mind being here. I'm cool with it. My agenda gonna stay the same. Because as long as I focus on what's important, that's all that matters. Today we understood and we understand together as a unit, money isn't important. It isn't important at all. It goes right back to the same place you got it from, no matter how you look at it, okay? Career, you get experience from it. You get the knowledge. You teach other people about it. When you tell the other people about the experience you had, they go through it. They might learn something totally different and they kind of recycle it. And then we get to the end game, like today. We get to the end game of the knowledge and the understanding that everything that means something in the world is a peace of mind. And a peace of mind that comes from not staying the same person that you were and becoming a totally different creature. Which leads me to talking about people, your friends, the ones that act like they in your corner and when stuff get tough, they gone. Or the people that judge you based off of who you were and who you trying to change into. And they won't ride behind you when you trying to be a new creature because they remember all the stuff that you done in the past. So it's a tug of war. It's an endless battle. I understand it. I'm okay with that. I'm actually happy that I'm having this conversation because it's me getting a lot off my chest. I really ain't saying much, but more along the lines of what I've learned and what I'm going through or what I've dealt with and what I'm becoming, because I'm still just Mr. Serious. You know what I'm saying? I'm just still that normal guy that does the things that normal people do. You see what I'm saying? I just learned how to value transparency and tell the truth. You see what I'm saying? Like, just transparency is being who you are, really. You know what I'm saying? Not hiding anything, being an open book, but telling the truth about the struggles, about how you really feel, what you really learned, what you really took out of everything. It kind of brings you to a point of closure. It brings you to a point of closure. And that's what I really want to get at. You know what I'm saying? I really want to close this stress box that I got open. In the stress box, it could be people. It could be people. It could be the man in the mirror. It could be childhood trauma. It could be a lot of things. You know what I mean? You know the crazy thing about everything that I'm saying? When you do what you were put here to do, there's nobody like you. Nobody that compete with you. You see what I'm saying? Closing the doors behind you leads you on the path to being the person that you were supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? So when you get to where you need to be, anybody that's trying to follow you, they got a lot of doors to go through. People always want what you have, but ain't willing to go through the struggles that you went through to get there. That's the craziest part about everything that I've been through at this point. I got friends and people in my life that feel like I don't value or appreciate the stuff that goes on in my life or my day to day. But they wasn't they weren't with me at the beginning, so they can't relate to the struggles of the now because they looking at surface. They're not looking at what's underneath the soil. You know how far the layers of the roots goes to what the obstacles you had to pass through. Have you ever seen a tree growing through concrete? You know what I'm saying? Like struggles of the past. You know what I mean? Bro, I can bring it to so many different logics and the things that I experienced growing up to now that it will be irrelevant to talk about it today, right now. Because I'm just, like I said, I'm going over the start of the realization of trying to be happy, trying to get peace, trying to gain closure towards the energy of the surrounding difficulties that everybody deal with. I went into trucking. I'm still in trucking. I'm still driving 18 wheelers. Am I happy with what I'm doing? I love driving trucks. One thing I don't like about what I'm doing is that it involves people, and it's always going to involve people. That's why I got to evolve myself as a person. As soon as I learn how to not let people bother me, I can move on towards the new creature that's after this person right here that you're looking at. Somebody that you know, Mr. Serious. I could be something way better. You know what I'm saying? But I spend a lot of time evaluating others in certain situations that don't involve me, that I can't get past the everyday. You see what I'm saying? And that's my fault. Nobody else's. That's me all day. But I don't have a problem with it because it allows me to grow. You confront the demons of your past and you get to the places you need to be. If you can't go to the people that hurt you in your past, if you can't talk to people and find a way to be able to elevate your thought process past the past, you see what I'm saying? You would never get to a position of trying to figure out what to do next. You see, like that, it makes so much sense. And I've been through that struggle. The real deep struggle, the honest struggle of when your mind cave in on all sides and you don't have nothing else to do but just get into the fetal position and you just cry. I've been through it. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't have no destination. You know what I mean? Can't nobody offer a lend a hand because the people around you still the person they was in the past. So you the only one. Bro, I can get deep about this, like real deep, but it's no need. You know why? The most important thing that I can talk about today is just the peace of mind that I've been looking for a long, to this day, looking for a long time. The only avenue that I have found is quietness, by yourself, alone time. You know, the ability to just say, you know what, I'm not okay, let me get okay, and not look for people. Because if you use a fake artificial like support, like a structure, the ground gonna cave in and you gonna be in a whole bunch of trouble with all the stuff you built with people. I know the struggle that I go through. Everybody else in the world goes through it just like me. You know what I mean? Just like me. It ain't a person that, if this video was going out to 1 million people, right? It ain't a person alive that say that they could get to where they are today without going through some type of struggle. It could be like, man, I know where he coming from. This dude is speaking truth. These are bars right here. You know what I'm saying? I say the hope that comes from being by yourself and the ability to pour yourself out with the strength of the Lord above to be able to get you to where you need to be at is the only hope that you have as far as peace of mind. A lot of people got a lot of people behind them. Some of them, you know, they were brought up in a bad situation or a great situation, but the foundation of their family got generations of money or generations of ideas, or you know, they create something for the future. But the crazy part about it is the diamond in the rough shines brighter than any diamond in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different thing about them. You can't bring yourself to understand where this person came from. But like I said a couple of minutes ago, probably, 10, whatever, you never know who you are, and can't nobody follow you to where you're going. The diamond in the rough that make it to the place that they need to be at, couldn't nobody follow the footsteps of that person to get there. And if they do get to the same place, they're not going to be the same person. You see what I'm saying? And me personally, let me get back to me, because I'm talking kind of forwardly, talking about people. What I involve myself in as a person, right, is I deal with a lot of stuff too seriously. I got by myself, quiet, nobody around, just like music like this, ambient music, nothing going on. Just sitting there doing a whole bunch of thinking, stress thinking. I like calling it strategic thinking. And I started to think about my past. What do I do the most? What do most multiple people that don't know each other say about me? Man, you take stuff too serious, man. You just, oh man, you a buzzkill, bro. Like, I mean, you look at stuff deeper than what it needs to be looking at, and by the time we get to where you are, we done drowned because you in deep waters. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mr. Serious. You go places people not willing to go, not to be Mr. Serious, but the person that I am. When you're doing a whole bunch of unnecessary thinking or overthinking, or to people that's not you, unnecessary thinking about stuff. I say this, I call it strategic thinking and doing a lot of thinking, because to me, it's critical thinking. You can't blame nobody else for your situation. So now you got to go back into your thought and figure out why. Why am I broken? Where can I go from here? How did I get to this position of brokenness? Did the person lead me here? Do I need to confront a person? Do I need to talk about it to somebody that's around me that don't need to be around me, so they can leave me alone and I can move on? You see what I'm saying? Like, man, I got too many scenarios and people and things that I've been through that really have put me in a mindset that I'm in now. Only because, listen, when I say the mindset that I'm in now, when you get to where you need to be, the people that was with you at the beginning not gonna be there with you through the struggle. Time and time again, I get on this game, and I got a family member that I played the game with, right? That watches my streams because they can relate to the things that I'm doing, right? They with me through that, but they just an outcast, just like me. You feel what I'm saying? The people that's going through your temporary seasons that you're going through, they're not gonna go through the whole struggle with you. They're gonna be temporary. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna change. Matter of fact, let me stop for a second and let me say this. When you by yourself, you realize more about yourself than people telling you. Because somebody can tell you the truth about you and you still wouldn't listen to them, because it's that human that's just like me, passing judgment on me. But when you realize who you are, when you look in the mirror, whatever metaphor you want to compare that to, when you really analyze yourself, you come up with a solution for the future, because you try to change the things that you've been through, right? And you try to get to a place where you need to be. Excuse me. So the struggle to become the person you want to be, for me, it started with doing stuff that I wasn't comfortable with doing. One of these things, streaming, right? Making videos on YouTube, doing stuff like this right here. I don't know how nobody in here. I don't know. If I do, that's be quiet, chill, relax. It matters, but to me it don't matter. I'm doing this for me. You see what I'm saying? Everything that you can say and do in your entire life, somebody been through or going through, and it's a testimony. People can attest to the things that you going through. It hits different for the people that's going through it now But the people that went through it before was like, dang, I ain't even think of it like that. I'm not scared of a challenge. And I'm not scared of a difficult situation. You know one thing I'm scared of? Regret. Terrified of regret. That's a powerful word. Regret. One thing I regret about the start of trucking, driving trucks, right? It's not having what I was going to do when I got the experience. When I got the experience that I have now, I didn't never think about what comes next after that. My goal was to get into trucking, to drive trucks. What I was going to do when I got the experience, and I've been driving trucks for 2 years, I didn't have an answer. That's the craziest part. Might stumble and bumped and tripped, slipped, and hopped into a bunch of people that might, hey man, I'll hire you to do this, I'll hire you to do that. But you gotta pay attention to the people that's trying to benefit off of you because of who you are. You never know. You might be the CEO of everything dealing with whatever it is you're doing, but you let somebody else take the role and play a position that they don't deserve, and you kind of give your power away. You see what I'm saying? So if you got a solution for the reason, ain't nobody gonna stop you, man. You get a goal in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason why you want to do this, you got an answer for it. Why you want to do this? Because don't give no cliche answer, you know, to yourself. I'm talking about yourself like I did with me, like I'm doing with me right now. I'm talking to myself. I'm just enjoying doing it, right? But if you tell yourself the butt naked truth, who gonna judge you? You can say I tell myself the truth all the time. But let's be real, man. How many times we lie to ourselves and just believe a lie? All the time, right? All the time. Everybody always do it all the time, man. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight, man. You see me? Nah, we all cope with something. We all do something. We all do something we don't need to do. We all do it, right? I look at my agenda on the surface for what it is. I got issues. Like royal issues. We all do, right? Some worse than others, some less than others. But I look at it for me. So, I have a long list of stuff that I would like to do. But I have a deep bed made with reasons why I don't need to do it. It's easier to do nothing than to do something. Easier. I don't want to make it make sense. That ain't my job. My job is to tell the truth. You see what I'm saying? Like, tell the truth. I don't want to make it make sense. I ain't no preacher, you know what I mean? I ain't no therapist. I'm just telling the truth about me, right? Nonchalant conversation. Just me and you here. You know? Just the one with the microphone and the ability to be able to record it and say it first. I don't have a problem with nothing that happened in the past. If I can change anything from my past, I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change not the first. I don't have nothing that I dealt with, struggled, anything that I can go back to and say, I would change this, because I wouldn't be the fearless person I am today. It's like a light flipped on, popped in my head one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm finished. Forget everything. This is what I'm gonna do. I don't know why I'm gonna have this conversation. I don't know why. I'm really glad that I did. It's therapeutic for me. It's flowing like water, and I don't mind doing it, because to me it's nobody here. But in my mind, like really when I think about this, I want to say this real quick. When I think about this, I act like I'm streaming to 50,000 people. How would I feel if I was talking to that many people? I would know in my heart that everybody has been through something. I'm only talking about my journey, my situation. I'm not talking about the person that's watching. We all relate to each other in some weird way, like we all connected. And the struggles that I'm going through may be the exact same as somebody that's doing something totally different from me. Totally different. The knowledge that I'm talking about right now is understanding the overall meaning to peace. Like a peace of mind. You see what I'm saying? A peace of mind. Who you know around you that has a perfect peace of mind, that cannot tell you some struggle that they went to or went through to get to that. It ain't that many people out there. We all start from somewhere, from humble beginnings, right? But we like hiding behind that child that we are, because it all began as we all started the struggle as a child, and we hold on to these childish traumas that we ain't really unpacked or dealt with or faced, right? Something that happened as a child. It's still lingering behind us as people, and we get to our adult selves and we don't let go of this stuff. And I'm not gonna say it's our fault, and I'm not gonna say it's our parents' fault, but what I will say is the ability to change the future is through the knowledge that you have a problem. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just want to take a moment to just say this, talk about all the stuff that I had just on my mind. I just really felt like doing this. I haven't ever done this before. I tried in the past, but I was too much of a pothead that I didn't want to get on the camera and talk about it, you know. But it is what it is, because I still deal with stuff now, not being you know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, here I am. This is me. This is Mr. Serious. And I ain't scared to do this. Feel good about getting this off my chest, man. Hopefully you had the ability to do the exact same thing. It's not hard. Be transparent and honest with somebody other than the people you're comfortable with, because it's too easy to do that. Way too easy. Yeah. I ain't gonna say that's it. I have a lot more to say. So many different topics I could talk about. You know, I'm not sitting in here having a conversation with somebody that is like physically here or somebody in the chat or anything. I don't want to say too much. I want to save it, man. I have a lot of precious gems that you don't want to cast in front of somebody that don't care. You see what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a YouTube video, so I don't want to just say everything that's on my mind and publish it, because it ain't gonna make sense to a person that ain't set up for it. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta distance myself with the way that I feel right now. I want to keep talking. That's what I'm saying. I really want to keep talking, but then it ain't really much to talk about, because we all have issues. I don't want to put all my issues up front like I'm just this broken creature. I just really wanted to just be able to do this comfortably and sit here with a clear mind and a goal and be focused, man. You never know, man. You never know who's listening, who's watching, who you can influence. And the person that you were in the past, and you talk about it, and you try to develop yourself as a person. That is very important. That's why I keep saying it. As a person, it gets you to the place that you didn't know you need to be. One thing I said, you can go through the world buying all the stuff you want, but you can never buy the stuff you need. You could not go get anything that you need with the knowledge of this is what I need and get it. It just happens. Without your control, you didn't concoct the plan with the ability to be able to forecast the future, and you knew in 2 weeks you were going to be here. We always get the things we want without knowing what we need. That's the beautiful thing about just letting stuff happen. You just gotta go with the flow, roll with the punches. It feel good to say that because I learned that the hard way. Learned that the hard way. You could trust me. One of the biggest thing in this world to me, the most uncomfortable feeling I can have in my entire life is the thought of regret. Regret. I want you to forget that. Regret is very serious. Sits there and it lingers. It waits like a lion in the grass, looking at a gazelle. And when you the weakest, it pounces. Older. You thought you lived your best life, and then this one little thought come up to your head. You forgot about something. You forgot to do something. You didn't think about this person, and you go move on with your life, and then it hits you like a ton of bricks off the Eiffel Tower. Boom. Regret. Lands on your doorstep. You can't do nothing but accept the gift. You know what I mean? So that's me. You know? Trying to be the motivator and the inspirator, to try to talk about the traumas, to be able to deal with it. You know, it's a lot of things that just goes on in your day-to-day that kind of causes you to have PTSD about certain things. And I don't take that term lightly, PTSD, because I understand it is a very, very, very serious thing. And I learned about that serious thing by somebody trying to go underneath my trailer in an 18-wheeler. Yeah, PTSD is very serious. I'm not even going to say that I don't have it, you know, because I might have it. But cut a long story short, yeah. Things that happen, you deal with it, and you don't know that it's lingering behind you. But when you get to where you're going at, you don't want to find out about it because it was the lion in the grass waiting. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting there just waiting for you to be weak, and then boom, it just land on your doorstep, like I said. So, yeah. The craziest thing about what I'm doing right now is I'm really enjoying this. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm really enjoying talking about all of this stuff. Everything. Because to me, it's an opportunity to be transparent and tell the truth and not have a feeling of I'm lying, because it's all the truth. You know, I can't make this up. This stuff is just real serious. Like, I'm reading a piece of paper. I'm looking at a screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really an opportunity to vent. And I love doing this. I hope to do this again soon. I don't have nothing in mind else to say. I don't have nothing that I want to talk about. I have a lot to say. But some things are unnecessary. Some things are very unnecessary. But I do enjoy being honest and transparent. But I'm going to get back to what I was doing, man. I just wanted to record this real quick. Just say this live. Anybody welcome can come check it out. Maybe people stopped in, checked it out. Maybe somebody's sitting here and they got a lot of knowledge off of it. Either way, I'm happy with it. I'm content. I'm closing the door. If I do this again, it's just going to be because of the same way I felt before I started doing this. It's just going to come to me and I'm just going to do it. You know what I'm saying? But we all need closure, peace, and an opportunity to find that joy that we need to get to in our life without worrying about people. By going through the struggles of the necessary things to make us who we need to be. Because when we get to that journey, that place that we need to be, the people that's watching you, they can't follow your path because it's way too uncomfortable for them. Your tribulations, your struggle is placed on you because you can handle it. That same situation may not be for somebody else, and it's okay. I don't know why people. I do know why people, but I don't know why people like to place themselves in the same bracket as other people. But when you get into their shoes, the only question you have is, how are they able to do that? It's just because that's what they went through. That's the struggle and the stress of being able to withstand, like, just to do the things that you do effortlessly, even if it's hard for somebody else. But anyway, I feel like I'm wrapping it up right quick, man. I want to talk about that real quick, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Mr. Serious, man, if you got somebody around you that you could tell you appreciate, do it, even if it makes you uncomfortable. You know why? Because regret follows you behind everywhere you go. And once you get still and you slow down, it's going to catch up with you. So make sure you do everything you need to do. Y'all take it easy. Be blessed and stress free.